Dopamine. Dopamine. Dopamine now. Can you feel it now? Check it. Dopamine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for DTR. I am D Summers 90, and we are at the COTA circuit, the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes, Johnny, I know we were running late. Have you seen any of the Division 1 races this season? Sometimes the music loops twice before we even get to this point. So yeah, welcome in everyone. I know a couple of the drivers dislike this track. I believe one of them is already going out onto the track, who dislikes COTA. It's either Grelis or Connor. It is Grelis. So while Grelis goes round, we will talk about him behind his back. So here is the driver's standings as they are at the moment. The man you see on your screen at the moment is in P1 in the standings, having won 4 of the last 5 races. He is 43 points ahead of Miyagi. Then things get a little bit closer between Miyagi and Benny. A bit of a gap back to Mirror, who is on 58, and then the gaps come down again until about P10. So, yeah, it's relatively close except for Grelis, Miyagi, and Benny at the top. Grelis now warming his tyres as much as possible without overheating them, because he's going to need all the grip he can muster for the S section at the beginning of his lap. It is a very hard braking zone into turn 1. Then we go downhill into the S section. You have to be on point, otherwise you will be losing tenths off of your time. We then gradually go back uphill through more S's and end up going down to a hairpin. Then it is the long back straight through the DRS zone into a heavy braking zone with a just over 90-degree left-hand corner. Then we have a very snaky Sector 3. It is important to get your braking points and your turning points correct through there, otherwise you will lose a lot of time. Now let's go on board with Grelis and see how he is doing. Already got himself through the S section. Oh, a little bit of a wobble on the exit there. He is going to get a tow from his teammate, though, by the look of it. That is Havoc Connor in the car ahead. Pulls out of the way. That's the heavy braking zone into an just over 90-degree left hand. Now he needs to get all of these apexes correct, and it's going to be more difficult because he has got the dirty air of the Mercedes ahead of him. Oh, that was a bit of a rough place to do that, whoever that was. That's not how you meant to do that. But as Grelis is the first driver across, that is a 32.8 as a banker lap. Let's see, who was that Mercedes? That was Tom Putty, who almost caused an international incident. He's done a 35. Master Ranger with a 34.5. Let's see, there are a ton of cars coming across the line now. So a Hummer with a 33.8. The Division 2 driver reserving up. Stewart with a 34.1. Miyagi with a 33.1. What have we got going on behind? We have got a Williams in the new livery. Cavolis, a 150.3. He's not going to be best pleased with that. He probably got caught up in some traffic. There is another Aston Martin. That is Magic Poop Cannon. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Evidently just getting out of the way of other drivers. Now we've got Barry Bogorovsky coming across the line now. And that puts him in P4 with a 133.8. Who will be next? It is an Alpine. Which Alpine? It is Sport Mad, back to create more chaos. He took a week off last week. And between Zandvoort and now, he created chaos at Zandvoort. Will he do the same tonight? Puts himself into second, 132.9. As Havoc Connor goes third with a 133.0. Not a bad lap from Havoc Connor. Let's see. We've got Mirror coming through the final corner now. Puts himself on provisional pole with a 132.7. Let's see. I just missed someone. That was Benny. Puts himself into P3 with a 32.9. There's a couple of times down here that I don't believe are very representative of the drivers. I believe Tom Putty, Guna, and Magic Poop Cannon can go much faster than they have, and Poop Cannon proves me right. He puts in a 33.3. I wonder, is Guna now doing a fast run? Let's go on board with him and see what happens. Oh. As a parade of cars are now coming into the pits ahead of Guna, so he's going to have a clean run to the line if he can keep it on the track. Seems like he is lapping considerably faster than he did last time. 33.6, 4 seconds faster, puts him in P9. As his teammate is now coming out onto an outlap as well. Hummer crossing the line again, takes P9 back from Guna with a 33.6 of his own. There's an Aston Martin. Okay, that's fine. I didn't even notice. I did notice Cavolis did put himself second while I was watching. So we've got 3 drivers out on outlaps. I believe Giannis is the furthest one along. He is going to start his lap first. Although I say that, and Grelis has already started a second fast lap as well. Oh, and Havoc Connor has joined the session. I didn't even see that he had left the session. My apologies, Con. So let's see what the driver's standing leader can do. The question is he on used tyres? He is probably on a used set of softs, just to see if the track evolution is doing any good for his car. Now, there are a number of overtaking spots on this track, but you've got turn 1, you've got turn 11, you've got turn 12, and then it is 15 and 16, I believe it is. And Grelis puts himself on pole with a 1:31.7, the first man into the 31s. Janice now comes around the final corner, puts himself into P8. And Reliot was not happy with his lap, and I believe he almost went into the back of the Alpine there. Let's see, so we've got Tom Putty now going through the S's, slides it all. Not exactly hitting the apexes, but keeping the car on track at least. Seem to be going very wide through those corners. Takes the line that I usually take through that left-hand kink down to this corner. Keep it very tight to the left, cut the corner. Can Tom Putty beat his 1:35.5 that he has already set? It's nice to see the drivers are actually getting out of the way and not causing too many issues this evening. We had a couple of incidents last week where there seemed to be impeding. What is Tom Putty's time going to be? Oh my word, what was that? And that's a 34.6, so he does improve, but not enough to move ahead of Skipper. We have an Alpine of Sportmad about to come round the corner. Let's see. Puts himself up into P3. And Benny comes round the final corner. Where does he put himself? He does not improve. He is now going to push again if he has the battery. We've got Skipper coming through. No, he ducks into the pits, letting Barry Bogarowski take the final corner with no dirty air. And he moves himself up into P8 with a 33.2. We now have Kavolis coming round for the start of his lap. I do like this livery, the golf livery with the words from members of staff, members of the Williams fan base, just all over the car. And Stewart was not happy with his lap, apparently. So, let us see. There is a Ferrari of Guna going around. And there's also one of Reliot, who is now up into P15 with a 33.7. And I keep seeing a car glitch across there. Oh, and Reliot has retired from the session. What? Okay. And Poop Cannon retired from the session as well. Not quite sure what is going on there. But we've got Havoc Connor coming up to the finish line now. 1:33.0. We've got Hummer crossing the line. 7 seconds slower. He's now on his push lap. Let's see. Kavolis is coming in. Bogarowski is coming in. Guna has invalidated, unfortunately. Avacona has left the session. Let's get him back in if we can. Albert Connor, why do you never show up online? Now I'm unsure if Hummer is doing a fast lap. His light is blinking, so I'm not sure if he is actually doing a fast lap now. Grelis has retired from the session. Did he do that in the pits? Benny has retired from the session with 2 minutes to go. We will go on with Giannis, as he is the furthest driver along, I believe, who is on a fast lap. Bit of a wobble going through turn 12. Oh, is it raining? It is, it's raining. That is why the drivers are retiring. I have a feeling Reliot might be in trouble for retiring on track, the way that he did. Same for Magic Poop Cannon. And that's an invalidation for Giannis. And it will be funny if Mars Ranger is actually faster in these conditions on the slick tyres than he was in the dry, but nope, in he comes. I think everyone has decided to get this over and done with pretty much. Skipper has invalidated. Tom Putty's on an out lap. Stewart is currently on a lap, but I'm not sure if he's going to be any faster in this weather. It is getting more and more damp out there, and I think it's just going to cost him a lot of time. We will see when he comes across the sector line and see if he is up or down on his time. He is down by 6 seconds. It's not stopping Benny Buno, though. He is going to continue out there, and he is on the inters. So he is getting some inter practice in. Let's have a look at the tyres here. Sportmad is also on the inters, as is Tom Putty now in the pits. But there you go. That is the end of any new laps being set. Stewart does not improve. The only person who could potentially improve, but it is unlikely, is Benny Buno, who is currently going around on the inters. So we will see if he can get an improvement. It's not likely, but who knows? Maybe he knows something we don't. At least if there is rain in the race, he has some practice on the inters. That was a bit of a wobble going into the corner there. A slide coming through the apex of the next one. Oh, big slide and spin. I'm going to call him the ballerina for the rest of this race, because he likes to pirouette. There he goes. I wonder, Benny Buno, are you watching the stream? Oh dear, oh dear. So there we have it. We have got Grelis on pole, Miyagi in P2, Sportmad in P3, Mirror in P4, Cavolis in P5, and Benny all the way down in P6, which I was not expecting. A decent job from Havoc Connor. I know how much this track grates on him. So to be up in P7 in qualifying is good going for the Barnsley lad. He is followed by Barry Bogarowski in P8. Janis gets himself into the top 10 in P9. And to round out the top 10, it is Magic Poop Cannon. We then have Benny Bruno, Hummer, Guna, Stewart, Reliot, Master Ranger, Skipper, and Tom Putty, rounding out the final drivers for tonight's race. I am predicting chaos into turn 1. We will have a formation lap. So let's see if it turns into monsoon conditions or if it dries up between quali and the race. The answer to that is apparently 18 because we only have 18 drivers. But now the drivers are sorting out their strategies. It looks like it's going to be a dry race. If you wish to race Finchy Frog, we have a link in the description below to the Discord. Sign up on the Discord and then you can join the racing. So the drivers are sorting out their strategies. It looks like it's going to be dry throughout. We don't know. We haven't had word from the pit lane whether there is rain on the horizon. But it looks like it's going to be a standard medium hard race. But if it does end up raining, that all goes out the window. Johnny, if you are still in the chat and an admin for the stream, can you do something about the chat? Thank you. So, if there is no rain, if it stays dry throughout this race, I believe Grelis will have quite an easy job of staying in front, getting the strategy correct, and winning this race. He might have a bit of a fight from Miyagi. Sport Mad might cause absolute chaos like he did in Zandvoort. He's a little impatient. He doesn't wait for the opportune moment to make an overtake. So we will have to wait and see what happens. We are now going to have the drivers come around onto the grid. We will see how many of them miss their grid spots. So we will go on board with Sport Mad, as is the tradition of going on board with P3 from the grid. Looks like the drivers have lined up well so far. We have got a couple of stragglers. That is Skipper and Tom Putty. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are away for the US Grand Prix here at COTA. And Sportman already loses a position. 2, 3 positions. He got a terrible getaway. Wow. Bit of pushing and shoving from the Alpine ahead of him. So we will bring up the position change. So Mira has moved up 1. Benny has moved up 2 positions from the start. He knows he has to push if he wants to get anywhere near for the championship this season. Sportman is down 2. Cavolis down 1. Giannis, Poop Cannon, Stewart up 5. Giannis and Poop Cannon are up 2. Benny Buno up 1. Guna up 1 now as his teammate Reliot passes him. Barry Bogorovsky has dropped from the start, and so did Havoc Connor. He's dropped 9 positions. Not quite sure what happened to him. Maybe there was a spin further back as Janice and Stewart get themselves past Magic Poop Cannon. He's not having a great race so far. Let us get rid of that. So there is already a gap forming between the top 4 and the rest of the pack. Sportmad being the front of the rest of the grid. It doesn't matter this lap, but it will matter in the next lap. Relis gets the fastest lap of 1:36.851. He knows that he needs to break away from the rest of the drivers if he wants to win this race. Sportmad is now 1.2 seconds behind Mbeni. That is the biggest gap we have at this moment in time. We will stick on with Mbeni though, because he is sniffing the tailpipe of Mira. So let's have a look at the tyres. So the majority of the drivers on the medium strategy. Barry Bogorovsky, Hummer, Havoc Connor and Tom Putty all on the hard tyres. That might explain partially why they dropped back so quick. There are your strategies at the bottom there. So it's saying a 1-stop is possible with a medium hard, as Barry Bogorovsky loses a position to Masked Ranger and Hummer loses a position to Havoc Connor. Cavolis is doing what he can to stay with Sportmad and trying to get past him. It's not Sportmad hate, I'm just going to say that. It's that Sportmad caused a bit of chaos in the last race he took part in. We just don't want him to cause more chaos. But it's what he's known for at this moment in time. Granted, he's done 1 race. So if he can prove himself, then fair dues. Okay, he's kept it clean so far this race. Hopefully he will be able to do so in future races as well. But Sportmad has caught up to the back of Benny now. That gap has now dropped to Stewart's lap. Relis just pulling along the top 7 now. So there's a train of the top 7. Then there is a train from P8 down to P12. Then we've got Masked Ranger and Bogorovsky going around together. And then we've got Havoc Connor stringing along the 2 Haas drivers. And Tom Putty at the back. Is Miyagi going to be close enough to go for a move into turn 1? We will have to stay on board and just make sure. Because Reliot just got really close to the back of Stewart, according to the timing board. So we'll have to jump over to that as well as they come around the final corner. Now, is Miyagi going to be able to make the move on Grelis, or is Grelis burning his battery to stay ahead? He has a look, but he doesn't have the straight line speed. Let's have a look at Stewart and Elliott. Nothing doing. So there are now 3 trains at the front. Sportman's doing well in P5. He's catching up in the corners. He just does not have the straight line speed. So he's probably on a higher downforce setup. Probably trying to save tyres. Or potentially prepared for rain later on in the race. So he's doing well so far. I haven't seen him cause any problems. He did have a bit of a iffy start, but he's doing well. Let's have a look. Magic Poop Cannon is just completely off the pace today. He's usually one of the drivers I would expect to see up the front, but not today. He is P8 and 3.5 seconds. Oh, give me a better camera. Jeez. So, yep. It looked like there was a bit of a dive from behind, but we couldn't see it because of the camera that we were on. And it has dropped Poop Cannon down to P12. It's caused the gap to build to 4.8 seconds now. The Ferrari boys are going to want to push on and catch the cars ahead. Let's see this front 3. Hummer gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I think Benny Buno also has one. Let's see. Yep, Benny Buno also got himself a 3-second time penalty that I completely missed. I do apologise. Let us have a look. So, Relia is the closest driver, or I say closest driver. Miyagi is right behind Grelis now, practically pushing him through the hairpin. Gets the DRS open, gets a bit of battery burn going on, and is now past the Red Bull driver. And Mira is looking for a move on the outside of Grelis, which is unorthodox through that corner. It's not exactly the best way to go. Doesn't get the job done, as Reliot now gets himself past Benny Buno. Are there going to be any more passes? And Stewart has dropped to the back. He is 12 seconds behind. I believe he has pitted already. Yes, he has. Maybe he had damage, potentially. Guna gets himself a 3-second time penalty. It's not what you really want to do around this track. It's an absolute nightmare for track limits. And the thing is, as soon as you get yourself a warning, you can quite quickly get yourself another warning in the next corner, as Benny Buno just did right there. So that is 6 seconds for Benny Buno for track limits, with Reliot being the man to cause the mistakes for the Mercedes driver. Masked Ranger is running relatively well in P11 this week. He might be able to make a couple of moves, but there is a sizable gap between P7 and P8 at this moment in time. As you can see on the map, there is a huge gap between the Racing Bull and the Ferrari. To be fair to Giannis, he is still a fair bit behind the Williams ahead. And Magic Poop Cannon makes a move on Barry Bogarowski. Oh, that was a wobble from Sportmad. coming out of the final corner. It's easy to do there. The corner is off camber. It makes the car slide. It's not a nice corner to go around. One minor lapse and you will be round, but he caught it and keeps on going. Only lost a couple of tenths. His teammate, however, Mirror, is flirting with that 1 second margin for the DRS. He needs to stay within that 1 second if he has any hope to finish further up in this race. And he does get within that 1 second margin. He will have the DRS on this straight. But Grelis ahead is just going absolutely nuts with his DRS. He's also burning battery to try and create the gap and keep with Miyagi ahead of him. Now, I said at the beginning, Miyagi is a danger to Grelis because Miyagi is very difficult to pass. He is a good defensive driver and he's also rather quick. He knows when to overtake. So now that he's in clean air and has been for 3 or 4 laps, he is in control of this race. Now, I will say the undercut around Texas is big. You get maybe 3 to 4 seconds of gain for a 1 lap undercut. So if you manage to come into the pits, and Benny has got himself a 3-second time penalty, that is not going to help him. Stewart also gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So, as I was saying, if either Mirror or Grelis decide to pit in a lap before Miyagi, or Mirror decides to pit before the front two, and he knows he can keep the pace going on the tyres that he puts on, he will have a sizable gap when he comes out with these drivers going into the pits. Grelis and Miyagi fighting through this sector side by side. Not somewhere you really want to be side by side. Grelis goes a bit deep. He took the shorter route, but it worked out for him. Maybe he is planning to get ahead before he goes into the pits. Because yes, undercutting from behind is great and all, but if you can undercut from ahead, that's even better. And Reliot is round and in a wall. He's having to wait for other drivers. That is unfortunate. As Grelis gets himself a 3-second time penalty going through the S's. As Reliot comes straight into the pits, likely to change that front wing as Poop Cannon and Goomer swap positions. It's good to see the Aston Martins actually both in the points again, as Miyagi was right behind Grelis coming into the corner. Didn't get the drive out that he wanted, but he does have the DRS. Does he have the battery to get the move done? Grelis goes defensive. Miyagi goes to the outside. He is ahead. Oh, well done, boys. Just a little bit of wheel banging, and that is all she wrote. Miyagi is now ahead. Grelis concedes the position. He dives up the inside, though. Oh, that was... it's a good thing we don't have sim damage on, otherwise Miyagi would have a left rear puncture. I think Grelis might have... Oh no, he doesn't have damage on that right side of his wing. We saw the carbon fibre, but it wasn't anything special. As Havoc Connor gets himself past Mars Ranger in what I reckon is his favourite passing zone. As we've got Benny now passing Sport Mad. Sport Mad's fighting it back around the outside. Stewart gets himself another 3-second time penalty. That was a good defensive move from Sport Mad. He just held the speed, held his line through the outside of the corner, and just made sure not to make contact and got his position back. Good job. Now we've got quite a big train of cars here. Havoc Connor gets himself a 3-second time penalty. You didn't want to do that, you plonker. Let us have a look at penalties while we are waiting. So, the only drivers to be on 6 seconds are Benny Buno and TGL Stewart. Everyone else who has a penalty is on a single 3-second time penalty. Sport Mad breaking the slipstream for the Ferrari, then goes defensive as he is allowed to do. He did well to keep Guna behind him there. Guna had a look up the inside there, didn't have enough alongside. Oh, he's dived up the inside of the left-hander though. Oh, they've come together and Magic Poop Cannon has got himself a 3-second time penalty. And he's pushing Guna off. Oh my word. That is not where you want to do that, Barry Bogorovsky. I think there might be a report coming your way. I do not know. But M. Benny is the first man to go into the pits. He is planning to undercut Sport Mad, Mirror, Grelis and Miyagi. He comes out ahead of his teammate. So both of the McLarens are on the hard tyres. And Benny is now going to be hopefully giving Barry Bogorovsky a bit of a tow down the, pardon me, the back straight. Let's see what's going on ahead. So Grelis has dropped back from Miyagi. Maybe his tyres are starting to degrade faster than he was expecting. It might be an idea for Grelis to come into the pits now and do 17 laps on the hard tyres. I know he's not a big fan of the hard tyres at most tracks, but they are probably better than the mediums. Mirror gets himself a 3-second time penalty as well as Grelis does come into the pits. But Mirror stays out. He does not match what Grelis decides to do. Sport Mad also stays out. Kavolis stays out. What is Benny Buno doing? He's coming in. Now we've got M. Benny. Is he going to be coming out ahead of Grelis, or is he... He's not going to come out ahead of Grelis. He is going to come out, to be fair, a bit closer to Grelis than he was when he went in. And Sport Mad's got himself a 3-second time penalty. You didn't want to do that, sir, but that's the way it goes, unfortunately. Havoc Connor is likely sizing up a move on Barry Bogorovsky right now. Losing a little bit of time through the corners as the dirty air is causing problems for all of the drivers. But he is within 5/10 of the McLaren. So is he going to be able to get ahead of Bogorovsky? He pulls to the inside. Give me a different camera, you stupid thing. So he didn't get the move done there, but Giannis does get the move done on Hummer. As Miyagi is now in the pits, along with Mirror. Sport Mad stays out for another lap. He did not want to risk double stacking with his teammate. He understood what was going on. Kavolis is also in. Grelis is now going to come out behind Miyagi. That was one hell of an in-lap from Miyagi. But Benny has now overtaken Mirror. So that has worked out in Benny's favour. Skipper is now also into the pits. Stewart has made a fair undercut, considering I believe he came in on lap 1. But I believe he's going to have to pit again. So let's see what the drivers are on now. So Guna and Sportmad are the unable to connect to the EA servers. Great. Get me back in, please. Gotta love EA. I do apologise, everyone. Let me see if I can... Yep, there we go. Thank you, Connor. I was literally just typing to him to get me an invite to back into the lobby. I just want to say fuck you, EA. Thank you very much. Some of the drivers were having trouble on PSN earlier on because of EA server connection. And now apparently it's affecting me on PC. Right, we are back at it. Let's get everything back to what it was. There we go. So, Stuart has DNF'd in the time that we were gone. I think he has just done that in the pits, I believe. I would assume, at least. But Miyagi is still in the lead with Grelis chasing him down and Benny 3 seconds behind now. I wonder if multiple people lagged out. Grelis putting down a fastest lap of a 136.3. He is absolutely going for it right now. He knows he's got the rubber to do it. Mirror in P4, Sportman in P5, Giannis in P6, Kavolis in P7, Bogorovsky in P8, Havoc Connor in P9. Thank you for the invite, by the way. I know you probably risked a couple of positions with that. Hummer in P10, Benny Bruno and Tom Putty in 11 and 12, both of the Aston Martins in 13th and 14th, Guna in 15th, Skip in 16th, and Reliot in 17th. Now, is Grelis going to be getting closer and closer to the back of Miyagi? He has brought the time down by about 3/10 now, but he needs to be within, I would say, 4 or 5 tenths to get the move done. Speaking of Giannis, no, already through the corner. Oh, bit of a lock up there for the Racing Bull. He is being chased down by the Williams of Kavolis right now. Oh, Giannis and Kavolis both got themselves a 3-second time penalty. I don't believe that was quite right, but okay. Hummer comes into the pits. I believe he's coming off of the hard tyres that he has been running from the start. Yep, so he's done 15 laps on the hard tyres. He is now putting on the mediums. He believes he can get them 12 laps at this stage. No, 13 laps. Excuse me. So there are considerable gaps growing now all down the field. The only two that are staying together are Benny and Mirror, as Grelis has now dropped out of the DRS of Miyagi ahead of him. Grelis gets himself another 3-second time penalty. Let's have a look at all these penalties now. So we have Grelis on 6. We have Benny Buno on 6. And we know that Stewart was on 6 before we were disconnected. Reliot gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So everyone apart from Grelis and Benny Buno are on 6 seconds. Sportmad puts in a 1:36.2 as the fastest lap, as it stands right now. Fastest man on the track at this moment in time. Will he be able to put it to good use and get ahead of his teammate? Will he be able to catch up? Stay tuned, we will find out. If I don't lag out again. As Mars Ranger has now caught up to the back of Tom Putty as well as they go into the S's. We will stay on with Mirror as he has got DRS on Benny. Mars Ranger gets himself a 3-second time penalty. It's the dirty air, I tell you. And absolutely goes round the out. Wow. Wow, what a move. Let's see if we got that on the replay there. So, Mirror went for the move, went back to the racing line, locked up, and Benny decided to go for the move and take the position back. That was brilliant racing from the two of them. Now, Mirror is a bit further back than probably he wants to be. Kavolis is also in the same situation. He's a bit too far back from Giannis. Tom Putty is now behind Mars Ranger. I do apologise. I missed the overtake on the back straight. As Havoc Connor is the first of the, well, the second of the hard runners to come in for their stop. He is going to go for 11 laps on these medium tyres as Hummer gets one hell of an undercut on him. A 3-second undercut, and Hummer was behind Connor. So Hummer has put in these laps and got his tyres up to temperature and put in the effort that he needed to get ahead of his rival. As Kavolis gets himself past Giannis, nice and clean through the hairpin. Now into the few awkward corners that we have at Kota. Always fun to go for a dive up the inside of that left-hander. Which we might actually see from Magic Poop Cannon here on Tom Putty. Let us see. No, he doesn't go for it. He feels like just following at this moment in time. as does Gunnar. Gunnar is now also in the DRS of these two drivers. As Barry Bogorovsky now comes into the pits. Is he going to come out ahead of Hummer and Havoc Connor? We will have to wait and see. As Mirror is still chasing Benny Bruno at this moment in time. Will he be able to get the move done this time around and not get the position taken back off of him by the McLaren? Goes for the inside. Does not lock up this time. Oh, a little bit of potential contact there. Does not get the move done. He goes up the inside of the next corner, though. Is he going to switch it back to the inside? No. Not quite close enough. But this is a ding-dong battle between the two of them. Benny is defending well, and Mirror is attacking well. They are just both struggling. Oh, a couple of drivers both get past Tom Putty. That will be Magic Poop Cannon and Gunnar, as Gunnar and Poop Cannon are now fighting it out around the next couple of corners. This is just going to cost them time as Benny and Mirror are fighting through turn 1. Grelis gets himself another 3-second time penalty. I think we're going to have to call him the new Havoc Connor, to be fair, with the amount of penalties he has got today. He is on 9 seconds. Havoc Connor's only on the 3. Grelis is the new Havoc Connor, ladies and gentlemen. As Hummer gets himself past Tom Putty along with Havoc Connor. And Havoc Connor goes for the dive up the inside as well and makes it stick. Good job from the Red Bull driver. He's not too far off the points now. He just wants to score points in Division 1. As Mirror and Benny are fighting out again. And Benny did the same little move and Mirror saw it coming and got the switch back. These two are putting on a great race. This is it's good to watch, but I bet it's even more fun to actually race it. But as I said before, if you wish to race in DTR, there is a Discord link down below. If you click on that, you can sign up to be a reserve driver for this season, or potentially a full-time driver if there are seats available. We have 2 divisions. Division 1 is tonight, every Wednesday, 8 PM GMT. We have Division 2, which is Thursdays, 8 PM GMT. So you will see me tomorrow racing. And Grelis, our world title leader at this moment in time, he will be commentating. Havoc Connor puts in the fastest lap with a 1:36.1. He is absolutely flying out there. Gets himself past Gunnar, no problem whatsoever. Hummer gets himself past Magic Poop Cannon. They are just going to have to be careful not to overheat their tyres and absolutely destroy them before the hards come into play. Benny gets himself back past Mirror. They are having one hell of a fight for P3. Kavolis gets himself past Giannis. Now has 4 seconds of fresh air ahead. Giannis sliding on those hard tyres. I think he stamped on the throttle a little too hard there. Now Gunnar is following Havoc Connor. Doesn't quite have the pace to go for the move. We will watch Mirror. We will see if Mirror has the pace to get Benny into turn 1. As Miyagi has pretty much run away with this, Reliant gets himself a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He is a minute behind at this moment in time. So Mira didn't get the move done into turn 1, but if he can stay with Benny through here... Oh, Havoc Connor. That's unfortunate. You've just got yourself another 3-second time penalty. You plonker. Barry Bogorovsky gets himself past Magic Poop Cannon for P13 at this stage of the race. We have 7 laps to go. Mira is right behind Benny. Benny goes defensive, but there's not much he really can do going into this corner. The move was done so early on. Janice not having the pace to get past Kavolis this time around. Is Gunnar going to be able to get himself past Havoc Connor? I think he's a little bit too far back. And on tyres that aren't the best at this moment in the race. They will come back to him because Havoc Connor is on the mediums. They will die out quicker. But I believe Gunnar's hards... He's already done 8 laps on them. He might be able to get the move done around lap 25, 26 and potentially hold the position, especially if Havoc Connor makes a mistake. But we will have to wait and see. And Benny has now dropped out of the DRS of Mira. Is he going to be able to claw his way back in, or are his tyres dying? And in all this time that these two have been fighting, Sportman has caught up to them. He is almost within DRS of Benny now. Oh, Janice was right behind Kavolis. Couldn't get the move done into the heavy braking zone. But will he go for the switch back here? No, he locks up the front left instead. We'll go back on with Sportman and we'll see if he can put the pressure on Benny into turn 1. Tom Putty gets himself a 3-second time penalty. There are only 2 drivers at this moment in time who have not got a single penalty. They are Barry Bogorovsky and Mr. Miyagi. Will we get penalty bingo? Or will one of those two, or even both of them, keep it completely clean? Grelis gets himself another 3-second time penalty. That is 12 seconds for Grelis. He's going to drop back to P7 at this rate. That is not good from... Well, actually P6 potentially. As Magic Poop Cannon has now lost himself a couple of positions, he goes into the pits. Mr. Miyagi has pretty much controlled his own destiny in this race. He's kept it calm, he's kept it cool and collected. He's got 4 laps to go at the end of this one. Reliant gets himself another 3-second time penalty. So Mr. Miyagi just needs to keep it on track, keep it between the white lines, and he has no worries. 10 seconds behind, which is not what I was expecting to see this evening. Grelis in the Red Bull with 12 seconds of time penalties. It's absolutely disgusting behaviour. Then we have Mira in the Alpine, 4 seconds behind him, followed by Benny, who is almost 2 seconds behind, followed by Sportman, who has caught right up to the back of the McLaren driver. So Sportman could well be in with a P4. Let's have a look at the penalties again. So they are on equal penalties here. So this is a straight fight between the Alpine and the McLaren. As Mira gets himself past Grelis. What has Grelis done? Oh, Grelis has had an incident. What? I missed the incident, but he's missing most of his front wing. Oh dear. That's not good. Massive lock-up into the left-hander. Well, I have a feeling that is Grelis' race over. As Sportmad did get the move done on Benny in the confusion with Grelis. So he is now on a podium for, I believe, the first time this season. It's the second race he's taken part in, and he's already on a podium. He's shown much more patience this time round. He was rushing in Zandvoort, but now he's calmed down, and Miyagi gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Probably because he was trying to deal with the Aston Martin behind him. And Grelis has put himself onto the soft tyres for the last couple of laps. Going to try and get himself the fastest lap point that the league hands out. Now, was Sportmad within the DRS of his teammate as he came across the detection point? I don't believe he was, but I could be wrong. But I am correct. He did not get the DRS this time around. Havoc Connor gets himself another 3-second time penalty. The only man stopping any form of penalty bingo is Barry Bogarowski. The stalwart, the baldy, the owner of the league. The silly Dutch goat. So we'll keep an eye out and see if he gets himself a penalty. Janice is the only man within DRS of any other driver at this moment in time. So we will stay on with him. But what we will do is we will go on board with Miyagi as he crosses the finish line to start his final lap. We will watch his final lap. Just in case there happens to be any incident. It's unlikely, but you never know. So Janice is now in a prime position to try and get himself past Kavolis and gain a few extra points. Because I believe they are both on the same amount of penalties. Yes, they are. Is he going to have... No, he's not got Snowball in hell. Hummer gets himself a 3-second time penalty, or another one. So now Miyagi is coming around the final corner. So we will stay on with him. He is dragging around, I believe that is Magic Poop Cannon. It is. He's dragging Magic Poop Cannon around, who is benefiting from the DRS, but he's not really catching the cars ahead. He's not really losing Reliot. Doesn't really need to. But Miyagi has had a stellar race. He's made minimum 3 mistakes the entire time. Janice finally gets himself past Kavolis on the final lap. Will he be able to keep that and make it stick? Grelis gets himself the fastest lap I do apologise. Let us see. So that was a 1:34.577 for Grelis. But Miyagi really hasn't set a foot wrong. He managed to get ahead of Grelis. He let Grelis go ahead again. And then he just had his strategy on point. Absolutely brilliant. He managed to pull a 10-second gap to Grelis. Grelis was evidently struggling as he did crash later on. Kavolis and Giannis are fighting again. There is contact, but we will stay on with Miyagi. Oh, and there is Poop Cannon weaving around because he knows his race is over a lap early. So we then have Mirror and Sport Mad making up your podium. And Benny comes in fourth, followed by Kavolis and Giannis. And Giannis actually gets the position after penalties. Grelis, a sad day for the Red Bull driver. He's not going to be best pleased with his drive tonight. He finishes in 7th, loses the position to Benny Buno, and will also likely lose the position to Masked Ranger. No? Okay. So he finishes in 8th, Masked Ranger in 9th, Guna in 10th. Barry Bogrovsky gains 10th position after Guna's penalties. Havoc Connor in 12th. Then we have Hummer and Skipper. Seems like Hummer is having an issue, but I believe it might be that he is just letting Skipper get the points. Or get the position. So the last driver to come across is Tom Putty. And that is your US Grand Prix for DTR Division 1. It's not the result I was expecting, but it's a pleasant result nonetheless. It is good to see the Alpines on the podium once again, with the Polish driver Mirror and the Omani driver of Sportmad. And of course, congratulations to Miyagi for that stellar win. That was an amazing drive. You pretty much did everything perfectly, except for Bogorovsky, who did everything perfectly, but was, how do I say this politely, not on the same pace. But there you have it. So, Miyagi in first, Mirror in second, Sport Mad qualied in third, finished in third. Good job from you. Great racing as well. M. Benny in fourth, Giannis in fifth, Kavolis sixth, Benny Buno in seventh, eighth was Grelis, ninth was Mars Ranger, and Barry Bogorovsky rounds out your top 10. Fastest lap going to Grelis. So I would just like to remind you that we will be back for Division 1 next Wednesday, 8 p.m. GMT. And I believe after next week's race, we have a 2-week break for the Christmas period or the holiday period. We will be back streaming tomorrow for Division 2 at 8 p.m. GMT. It will be Texas. I will be racing. The sad Red Bull driver will be commentating for you. So, yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful evening and good night.